Hello et bonjour. Bienvenue à The Rewatchers Council avec moi, le Snark. You know, little, it's Canadian content here, a little French for you guys. Also with, for goodness sakes, what a treat. Brennan Mars here. Brennan, how you doing, pal?
Doing good. Doing good.
We're ready. We're ready to talk about season 2, episode 11, redefinition here of Angel. And now this is your first time through. I was thinking about this after the last time. It's like you're getting a whole bunch of news stories with characters like Darla and Drew and stuff like that. Much more Darla than you ever saw in Buffy, anyways. So, are you enjoying? Are you enjoying the extra Buffyverse content you get over there on Angel?
Oh yeah, a lot.
Well, you'll get some more. You're going to get some more. This episode, to be fair, I don't think is a very strong one. But
Not as
uh,
strong as the last
when we finished reunion, I was like, oh, redefinitions next. It's like I don't remember it being all that great. I'm going to say this: I liked it more than I remembered liking it.
one. Yeah, I like this one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. It seemed fine. Hold on for 1 second here, because I'm just going to play around with this camera because it's bugging me. And for all of you guys, you have no idea what I'm talking about. All right. Okay. Now, the original air date for this one, January 16th of 2001.
Oh
Okay.
wow,
So it's,
25 years ago. Man.
yeah. And we've gone in, we've made it. It's the what is it? The 21st century now. Um, Here's the deal. I'm sure this is also the first episode of Angel that didn't directly follow a Buffy episode. Because Buffy aired their 11th episode, the week before on the 9th. Angel took that week off. So we have it here, and then Buffy will be back or whatever next week, and
Interesting.
it'll be fine. They took this week off. So it's written by Mir Smith. The last episode she wrote was Untouched, and directed by Michael Grossman. Now he is going to direct 4 episodes in total. This is his first. He's going to go on to do a Buffy episode in season 7, I believe. Also, he's going to direct a Firefly episode. So
Ooh.
he got in there quick or whatever because unfortunately he only had so many to go. But he's going to go on to do a whole bunch of stuff. Gilmore Girls. He did Star Trek Enterprise. Brennan, local Star Wars guy. Charmed. He's done a bunch of Grey's Anatomies. He produced and directed that was it Drop Dead Diva. Do you remember that one? I think he
Oh
did.
my word.
He
Yes.
did 18 episodes of that one, and 7 episodes of Pretty Little Liars.
Ooh.
So there you go. Also Cobra Kai. He also directed Cobra
This
Kai.
guy has done a lot.
He ends up doing quite a bit. So yeah, good for
What
Mr.
Star
Gross.
Trek episodes did he do?
I can't remember. I just remember that he only had the one. So yeah, so he was like,
Enterprise is good. It's an underrated show.
yeah, I think I remember seeing the first few. And then, I think for those first few episodes of Enterprise or whatever, it's coming to grips with the guy from Quantum Leap was the
Yes.
captain and stuff like that. But I also had that same problem with Deep Space Nine, which I'm actually rewatching now as well, Brennan.
Which is
Uh,
amazing.
right. And I've seen it all before. Like, this is my second or third go through for Deep Space Nine. But I also had the thing with Captain Cisco being Hawk from Spencer for Hire, and I had to get
Oh.
over that and
Oh
stuff like
yeah.
that with the
Oh
with the
yeah.
not having the goatee but the same voice and the same eyes and stuff like that. But you know, that's why I like it when you kind of have guys that you don't really recognize put into these roles and stuff
That's
like that.
true.
Yeah,
That's true.
of course now they have what's her name from Raising Arizona in the new one. So
Yeah,
there you
Holly
go,
Hunter.
Holly Hunter. That's it. Okay, let's talk about Angel quick before we go on to we could talk, we I think you always have room for Star Trek content if I remember right, Brennan. But
Oh yes, always.
yes, but we'll talk about some Angel now. Talk about redefinition, and it starts with the crew having to come to grips with the recent, very recent fact that they're out on their ass Brennan.
They're tired.
Yeah, he's changed. So they're coming to grips with what Angel could actually do, like what he let happen to those lawyers is something they're going to have to come to grips with here and stuff like that. His entire change of attitude has to be uh, taken in consideration now too. But Gunn doesn't seem bothered by it. Gunn's cool. He said it was a side gig. This guy was homeless. This guy is homeless, and yes, they did have a machine gun toting pickup truck, and it seems the run of a huge warehouse, something like that, or factory. There's a lot of factories in Southern California. I'll say in general, between Sunnydale and Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But yeah, he doesn't seem bothered by it at all. Uh, Cordy and Wes, of course, hurt and disappointed. Who's the worst? Disappointed. That's the one thing you never wanted to hear growing up. Wes thinks, but Wes is going to keep cutting Angel slack. He thinks that he just needs his own space now. And I think it's that they all walk off eventually in different directions. But, not for long. Anyways, then you're going to see Angel burning all of his Darla pictures and stuff like that. And again, I can say this, like the obsession thing with Darla was basically mystically planted in his head, magics and stuff like that. I don't understand why there was never just a spell that's like get over it and stuff like because obviously he's not infatuated with Darla and he's not obsessed with Darla. He had no problem killing Darla before. You know what I mean? It's not like he slept awake and kept bringing it up about all the, how guilt riddled he is about killing Darla. It never gets over. Anyways, something I never get over, Brennan. Cheesy voiceovers. And you're gonna get a bunch of them and training montages. He's going, oh, he's not ready to fight yet. Why? Why isn't he ready to fight these two yet? He's fought dozens, it seems. He's gone through trials and these mystical beings that so tough that they have trials about them and stuff like that. But he's fine. Anyways, you get to see the aftermath of the massacre. I really enjoyed this part where Lindsey's getting up, the cops are there, and it's like, they spare me. Why am I the only one? Oh my god. Why was I saved? And then the cop says, oh, we got another. He's like, what? Absolute disappointment, especially that it's Lila, the only other survivor of the massacre now. Then to see a little bit of Wes's personal life. If anybody forgot that Virginia was there, his lovely girlfriend, Virginia Bryce, they're still a thing. It seems it's just she's been laying low, hasn't been hanging out at the hotel as much. And I guess we should have said it's a guest star alert for Bridget Branna back as Virginia Bryce here. The only time we ever saw her before was Guys Will Be Guys, but we heard about her in a couple other ones where Cordy was reading the gossip rags or whatever, and they would see that Wes and Virginia were at certain things. There, and we find out she has a very large trust fund to go through, which is the least of what she get, as her father famously tried her, and the only other time we actually saw her and stuff like that. So she, she's a big Wesley backer, though, which is nice. She's saying you could do any of these things. Like you're a specialist in all this stuff. So it makes Wesley start feeling pretty good about himself. Of course, still defending Angel's decision, but Virginia's confident he's going to land on his feet. Except one thing, he doesn't think he has any other skills. Now, Wesley seems pretty posh, I would imagine. He would probably have gone when he went to a private school, I would imagine. He probably would have picked up a few things that he could have learned, in the real world. Even just tutoring ancient Sumerian or something like that. That seems to be a there seems to be a market for those kind of things in Southern California. So I don't know about him having no other skills, but yeah, what are you gonna do? Because we're gonna move on to yet another voiceover montage. For goodness sakes, Brennan. Except this time Angel has a sword, which is always fun.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one was before, if you remember. He was saying he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready to fight. But as soon as he got that sword in his hand, he's like, okay, I'm ready. Voices obviously, yep, I'm ready to do this now. And he says he's not on their level. He's not on Darla and Drew's level. What? Again, I don't understand. I don't understand that at all. How Angel and Jealous is not on the same level as Darla and Drew, for goodness sake. So he's going to need some practice first. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you can only do so much with a sword against no opponent. You got to go find something to hit. It seems so. You can see Lila now she's freaking out about what's going to happen to her, especially, and maybe to a lesser extent, Lindsey, as they're get Wolfram and Hart and stuff like that. It seems like they're they're thinking that it's not going to take too long for the only two survivors of this massacre to face the proverbial and maybe literal axe, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they get to Lindsay's office. Darla and Drew are just there. Uh, I don't know if these anti-vamp alarm guys that they have going on here are just taking a nap, if they're going on but they seem to have a blind spot when it comes to Darla and Drew. Actually, maybe not so much Angel. I don't know why he keeps crashing through windows and stuff like that when you know all he had to do was just pretend he was Darla or Drew or something like that. Anyways, Darla assures Z that we're not gonna kill you. Don't worry about it. If we wanted you dead, you'd just be dead right now. It's like just common sense, I think. I don't think why Lindsay would. I don't know why Lindsay would feel worried about this already. Anyways, he wants to know why he was spared. She does the old "because I'm in love with you" gag. Hilarious prankster that Darla is. Anyways, she thinks she's done them a favor when it comes to their upward mobility. You know what I mean? Where she's cleared a couple rungs of the ladder for them, and as we'll see later on, she's pretty successful. That is now I can say that might be just a decent way to get ahead at your job. Just make sure a vampire massacres 20 other people. You'll probably get a promotion, depending on the place. But depending on the place. Anyways, for some reason, Darla and Drew want to become big players in Los Angeles,
Mm-hmm.
Brennan. Yeah, so they want, they need some money. They're going to need some connections. And says she believes that those senior partners aren't going to fire either one of you yet. And then Lindsay asks if she's after Angel, and Darla doesn't like that. Every time that Angel gets mentioned around Darla in this one, she gets a little angry, a little perturbed. I think we can say, Brennan. And now he said she thought she'd kill him. She says this is all going to happen in good time. A very Bond villain response. It's like, well, we got plenty of time for killing our arch nemesis, the person that's out to get me for sure. Anyways, Angel has been walking around the sewers, something he knows pretty well, I guess, in Los Angeles. It's a bunch of douchey vamps. Makes an example out of them there. He kills three of them with the stake, and then we get a good old fashioned beheading for the last one. So it's a good thing he practiced with that sword, because you just don't see that as often anymore. It's nice to bring back the classics. Little head chopping. So we get to go to Caritas after the Brennan. We get to hear the host
Ah, yes.
sing a little Lady Marmalade and really dig their teeth into that song. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Uh, Wesley shows up. He's wondering what he should sing. He's thinking maybe a little Cat Stevens. And I'll tell you what, I'm here for it. I think he would do fine Cat Stevens. Maybe a little Father and Son.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Peace Train would be a nice one. I think Father and Son would be a little too on the nose for Wesley. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know how relationship with his father. Anyways, Cordy shows up, giving him crap for wanting to sing, and Wesley is like, "Oh, whoa, wait, just wait 1 second. What are you doing here? Then this is 15 miles away from where you live." So it's like, oh, eventually she gives it up. Like, yeah, and she's gonna sing. She can't decide between a Shania or a Madonna.
Oh boy.
Uh, yeah. A or B, Brendan, what would you go for, Shania or Madonna?
Oh. Um. Madonna.
Yeah, probably. I think you're right. I'd probably let's go for "Dress You Up." Let's go with a hit, but not one of the major ones. Let's go
I mean,
mid level hit
this makes it
for
very
Madonna.
clear when this was made.
Yes, for sure. Maybe erotica. That would be a fun one to sing at a karaoke. You have people looking at you a little funny, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Anyways, all this happens, and then Gunn shows up. All of them having the same idea, sing their way into word by the host. And I can't wait till he says his name because it feels funny saying just keep saying the host all the time. Anyways, he Wes is like, "Oh, what are you gonna sing?" And then Gunn says, "Oh, you would know it." And I think Wes is like, "Yeah, that's probably fair." I just like, "Yeah, I get that. All right, no problem." So remember Merle
Oh,
from
Merle.
what was it, like the first episode of the season, maybe the second episode of the season, something like that. Well, they're bringing Merle back,
Yeah.
bringing him back just to waterboard him or torture him in some kind, like give him the old dunk, like he's a geek in high school or something like that, and that well, it's just a big old toilet.
Yes, a
Anyways,
different interpretation of dunk and egg.
oh my gosh, you just nailed it once again.
Noted as
Anyways,
Men's reference.
so he wants more information on Darla and Drew. When Merle starts talking, I never talked about this before because the first time Merle was on the show, it was also Hallett's first episode on the show. So I talked about him and the guest stars or whatever. But this is Matthew James, I think, is what he was known then. I forget what he uses his actual name now, an Italian name. But I heard that squeaky voice, and as soon as I heard it, I knew exactly where I knew this guy from Silent Bob Strikes Back. If you remember the scene where they were in like the Mystery Mobile or that version of the Mystery Mobile, he plays Shaggy in that Mystery Mobile,
Oh,
uh,
yes.
saying that they should cut out his kidneys and leave him in a seedy motel bathroom full of ice. That's him. The
Hmm.
guy playing Fred in that scene, Brendan, Mark
Yeah.
Blucas. Mark Blucas
Oh,
is that
wow.
Fred in that one. Yeah, so there you go. It all ties together, guys. It's like this time, what is it about the Kevin Bacon or whatever? 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. There you go. It's all the same thing with Buffy and Angel, I guess. It all connects, for goodness sakes. Anyways, now, uh, yeah, he's Angel that those girls have been seeking out crew members and underground demon hotspots and stuff. They want to get a little gang together, cause cause a little chaos
Hmm.
in Los Angeles, and now it seems that there's one that they haven't hit. It's got to be they're going to be hitting it tonight. And so Angel says, "Great," just ties them up, leaves them hanging and spinning. I don't know what's worse, the hanging part or the part that he's spinning as well. Not great. Anyways, yeah, that Matthew James guys. I saw a new little interview or whatever when he's talking about this. He absolutely loved this scene, by the way. There he goes, his favorite scene that he did in Angel.
Hmm.
Now we see going on here. There's like a demon fight club. I guess which I can see. Yeah, okay, I can get this.
Hmm.
These demons probably wanting to fight about something here. Now,
There is no fight.
Darling, yeah. They just don't talk. Maybe they all know about it. They just don't talk about it because they get the rules, Brennan. For God's sakes. Now, we see the Drew and Darla stride in, introduce themselves, and this one guy says, "Well, I never heard of you." So Drusilla rips ears off, which is incredibly rude. I think I don't know how famous these guys think they are in the vampire world and stuff like that, but they got the rest of their attention now. Drew holding on to a couple of ears, for goodness sakes. But unbeknownst to them, this whole time, uh, Angel's been hiding, vamp faced, under a hood. It was a pretty tricky disguise. The Unabomber got away for years by doing this exact same thing, except for the vamp face, I think.
And by living out in the middle of nowhere. That's
Yep, that's true. He was not in a Demon Underground Fight Club in Los Angeles. So
that we
now
know
the
of.
ladies.
That we know
Well,
of.
that's true. There's a lot. He was a where to go to Yale or something like that. Like he
Who
was a
knows
smart
about
guy.
that guy?
Yeah, he had. There's a lot of time that he's just not going to talk about. I'm sure. Now, the ladies start giving their sales pitch, which is pretty good. They only want the ones that are going to thrive and excel at devastation. Now they're looking for some malevolent joy. They want to feel happiness and the pain and suffering of others, for goodness sakes. But Drusilla's going to sense Angel, and it took her a while for whatever reason. Usually she picks up on him when he's like a block away, but not this time. Anyways, Dartland starts talking her weird speak. Dart does not like it at all. Like, don't talk the weird stuff in front of the potential employees, kind of thing. But she starts getting it when Drew says, "Well, Angel's here and he's watching you right now." Thing. Darla's gonna get even more agitated when she says, "He remembered you were warm," which is, Darla does not like to be reminded she was a human being for a month or two or something like that. You know what I mean? Anyway, she gets back on schedule. She gets back to the plan. She says, "Well, all you prospective applicants, you know what? If you succeed at auditions, you get destruction, which is great. But if you don't, we're going to disembowel you." This does not sound like, what? These people are of free will going to go and try and audition for these things. Why the heck want to audition, just in case you miss, you're going to get your guts ripped out? That's a lose-lose. That is a lose, in my opinion. That's why they had to stop doing McDonald's and stuff like that. And they also had that same exact thing, if I remember right, which I may not, but you know what I mean. Anyways, she's going to just take this piece of paper with the address, throw it on the ground, doesn't even say, which is pretty rude, leave, or maybe it's a boss move. Maybe that's a boss move. Why, darling? Like, I'm not even going to say the name of the place. Just here you go. More on that place in a second, too, by the way. But now we're going to get another cheesy voiceover from Angel saying all of a sudden he's not ready to fight again. He's a little wishy-washy in this episode. I think wishy-washy at best describes Angel in this one or whatever. But we're going to get an even cheesier thing when the screen goes to that negative and Darla says Angel and it has like that echo to it. Oh my god. I think that's the scene that's stuck in my head. It's like, I don't like I certainly do not like that scene. Anyways, more voiceovering. Angel says that he can still feel her and he's too close to fight her. Brennan, what the heck does that mean? It's like he has too much feelings for the human Darla for whatever reason.
No idea.
It's pretty ridiculous. Anyways, over at Wolfram Hart, Lila's cracking. She isn't. She hasn't been handling all this survivor guilt. Maybe that she has. You know what I mean? Worried that she's just going to end up as dog food. At any other law firm, you'd think that's going. That's a bit of a stretch, but at Wolfram Hart, looks distinct possibility. And plus, then they said some of the company. I think that there's probably been people ground up in dog food in southern Los Angeles or Southern California. Anyways, she's gonna offer a team up now with Lindsey. This is how they're gonna beat them. They're gonna both run off together. They're gonna take a bunch of these files as insurance because there's one thing Lindsey knows. It's which files is gonna hurt Wolfram and Hart the most and stuff like that. So they're gonna have this little leverage on these guys, and then they're gonna say that he knew that she was wearing a wire because he starts to like she's leaning in for a kiss. He's like this. He's like pulls out the wires. Like, what are you? What's going on here? Like, come on, who are you fooling here, Lila? All and you're my best stuff like that. Ridiculous. So she's gonna walk out. So well, it was a nice try. It was a nice that little subterfuge there, and you wouldn't be Wolfram and Hart material if you weren't ready to throw somebody on their bus. That's for sure. So
Mm-hmm.
back to the crew. They've had a couple. They've been tipping a couple glasses. You know what I mean, Brennan?
Oh, yes.
They're discussing Angel and how Wes says that Angel's obsessed with Darla, and this obsession just doesn't go away. And why wouldn't think there's a spell to undo this stuff? Again, is just I'll just never understand. Cordy says Wes shamed Angel into firing them, which is kind of strange. Gunn protests that what he just would have killed him. Wes tries to blame Gunn for this. It's all infighting and stuff like that after a couple of drinks. Host's gonna come around, say, let's get you guys another. You know what I mean? We got to get you to that point or whatever where you guys are going to be best friends. And it comes right away because the next thing you see is a rather loose version of "We Are the Champions," sung by the entire crew and stuff like you're saying it.
Oh, boy.
Then we get to see the aftermath. Okay, bar. I've seen a lot of drunk people in my life. I've never seen a person just start yawning and then talking about how the real evil is tequila. I've heard people say the real evil is tequila many times, but usually it's the next day and not that night. Now she says that the host says he was impressed with all of their musical pain. He's very, it's like, yeah, he gets it. Now, Corey asks if he's got guidance for them. And then, he says that he can't tell them anything like this because something else is about to cut in and he doesn't want to be yapping while it happens and stuff like that. Now, while he was been doing this, he has taken off his coat and wrapped it up into a pillow and puts it behind Cordy's head because a vision is ahead. And so he can tell, we find out that he knows when these visions are going to come. So there you go. Now, the vision is there's this demon attacking a girl. Happens to be not too far away from where they are. So they're going to sober up as much as they can and head off after this demon. Now, you see Angel back at the hotel. A little montage, a bit of grabbing weapons, grabbing his Batman stuff, which we haven't seen in quite a bit. He's going to leave the hotel with a bag full of stuff. We the crew again. They're at the scene of the crime. It seems they're looking around and stuff like that. They're all lamenting the lack of Angel in all this.
Mm-hmm.
Wes is gonna snap at them. Says Angel walked away from his duty and stuff like that. Wes, either you're gonna defend him or you're gonna attack him. Just pick your lane here. But they're not away from their duty. No. They're in this for the long haul. So they start investigating. Then they find a blood trail that goes straight up, and they noticed that the entire building was locked up and stuff like that. So it might be a bit of a bother to get into this again. Abandoned warehouse or factory,
Always.
or whatever. This is
I didn't realize that LA had so many of them.
It's a terrible blight on Los Angeles. Just so many abandoned factories and warehouses. My goodness. But they have the power still on. So maybe they're all thinking, well, maybe so. We'll get back to this. Anyways, we see Drew and Darla. They had attacked, it seems, a bunch of other bar folk. Now it's off to the. It's time to go do some, HR stuff. You're gonna have to, I guess, HR, maybe DR, demon resources kind of stuff. Now, in her way, Drew is gonna tell Darla that no matter how many bodies she's gonna put in front of her, Angel is always gonna find her way in and stuff like that. Darla's going to get mad again, something she keeps doing, like we said. And says that Darla misses Angel and stuff like that. She says in a perfect world, Angel would be there with them, not off by himself flogging. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Flogging himself. Yep. Anyways,
That
that he'd be in and all this massacring. A decent human being. Drew starts having a vision of a pretty fire, which is pretty, spot on. Darla says, Drew says that she can feel flames licking like a cat. Stuff like that. Well, maybe you should have paid more heed to your own visions here, Drew. Darla says, well, don't worry about it. We're late. We're late. There's
that's
one thing
pretty
you don't
for
want
you.
to be. You don't want to be tardy for a job interview, even if you're the interviewer. You know what I mean? Prospective applicants could always just walk away, not get eviscerated. It seems, you know what I mean? So we're gonna see Angel to the fact before them somehow he's figured out where they were gonna be. You see some demons milling about. They're probably not going to be milling about for too long. Instead, probably littering the floor with their bodies and stuff like that. Over at their abandoned factory, not the same abandoned factory, the crew are inside somehow. Cordy wonders why there weren't any demon hangouts in Beverly Hills. If you remember the first Angel, pretty sure there was a demon mansion in Beverly Hills, and she was in it. She was in the thing. Angel had to come save her, for goodness sakes.
Yep.
So anyway, Wes said, "Yeah, there are a bunch. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. There's a whole bunch of Beverly Hills ones here." Anyways, then they're gonna see the girl from the vision on the floor, and the demon's just gonna. So, the Cordy's has the job of going to get the girl. The two guys are going to fight the demon. Wes gets bit in the back, but luckily, I guess it's not a vampire. But also, unluckily, maybe you'd have to go get a tetanus shot or something like that. Probably that. I would imagine those teeth haven't been brushed in quite some time.
I imagine so. Yes.
I've never seen a demon with a proper dental hygiene, for God's sakes. But Wes just ends up killing this thing by hitting it from behind. It's pretty. There's this whole thing. I guess the vision from the powers that be was just to bring the crew back together by killing a outmatched little demon and stuff like that. Anyways, they said, "Well, we're going to take this girl to the hospital, but job well done." Their first case sans Angel. They've killed the demon, saved the girl. Pretty heroic stuff, and also didn't get paid. So they're right back at square one. So Darla and Drew now at the factory. They hadn't seen the factory yet. This is the thing that's like I don't understand this at all. They have the factory. They've been handing out the address to everybody, but they've never been there. And Angel knew where it was. So strange. Anyways, yeah, they just have no money because Lindsey, I guess, didn't give them anything. So they're going to discuss Lindsey and Lila now. They calling them sweet, naive kids. Darla wonders if they even know what Wolfram and Hart's plan is for Angel. Oh, so Drew's gonna grab the door handle. She gets this vision of 10 soldiers, and then one dies, and something like that. So, again, they pay no heed to anything that Drew does. She opens the door. All these demons. See Angel there smoking. You know what you can do? You can stake things. You can cut off their heads. But smoking, and
Mm,
you don't even breathe. It doesn't make any sense.
yeah,
Anyways,
that's true.
it could have been, maybe a cigar would have been cooler or something like that because you don't have to inhale it. In fact, you shouldn't inhale cigars. Anyways, uh, Darla's going to ask, just try to stake her. She's trying to act all tough and cool. He's just scowling at her. All this, he's obsessed with her, blah, 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 blah. He's just scowling. He's doing more puffs of the cigarette. And then, after a couple of seconds, not even very long, never saying a word, drops the cigarette into the big pool of gasoline that he had piled up, led direct at Drew and Darla. They almost immediately go incredibly alight, which is pretty remarkable. Now we should know that vampires are usually quite flammable. It's a I guess dry skin when you're dead or something like that. Who knows? So they're screaming in pain. They're running around, but luckily there's a fire hydrant not too far from there. They knock off the top of the hydrant. The water's spewing straight up, and then you see them kind of just like patting the water on themselves. Like, why wouldn't you like just try to get into that water a little bit more? But no, they're just patting. It's like, oh, 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 oh. Anyways, you see that their faces are burnt. Drew keeps shrieking in pain. This is a great scene for Drew. Like, she
Yeah.
gets it. Darla's like basically over it right away. We can see their faces are all burnt and stuff like that. Darla says that wasn't Angel. That wasn't Angelus either. They don't know what that was that started that fire. She keeps begging for help, Drew. Now Darla's gonna start wondering who that is and stuff like that. Very strange. Anyways, we're gonna get back over to Wolfram and Hart to round this episode out because uh, Lindsey and Lila are gonna start discussing what happened to two ladies on the way to a meeting they have. They get their deets toot sweets. If you know what I mean.
Hmm.
Lila's gonna promise Lindsey, you're the one you're going down for this, buddy, not me. You know what? She's a survivor. And there's nothing wrong with that. But Lindsay's phased by the whole thing or whatever. They go into an office now. There's some executive sitting there telling them that the senior partners want a time of grief and reflection for poor Holland Manners. He's just someone they can't replace. But they do need a new executive vice president of special projects. Lindsay's, of course, reminded of the not great things he's done for this company, including, again, the aforementioned stealing of files and directly helping, it seems like their arch enemy against them and stuff like that. But Lila, she's reminded that she blew that whole deal with Bethany, that young girl there, where she could have been an incredibly gifted psychic assassin for them.
Mm,
Something that's very important to almost all law firms. I can tell you that.
apparently, yes.
It's handy to have. It's handy to have around you. Now, also, both of these guys have been talking with Darlin Drew, who, just ate a considerable amount of employees of the place, including the person who needs to get their job replaced right now. Their direct supervisor, it would seem. So none of this looking good for our two anti-heroes, I guess. So they are vicious and destructive towards each other, but it turns out they think this is a healthy thing. This is a good to have in them. So they're making, which is only going to be a super wise decision, making them co-vice presidents of special projects, because always when you have a co-vice presidency, it's always going to work out for the best, because no one ever has ambition. Everyone always just wants to do what's good for not only the other, but for the company as well. Now, until they don't. You know what I mean? We get to see Angel back at the hotel throwing knives at a dartboard. He's doing pretty good, you know. Then Wes is going to come in saying, you know what? Don't worry about it. We're running the agency, with or without you. Because someone around here's got to fight the good fight. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He takes off. Angel throws another knife, and it's way off. It's like me on a my Thursday night dart team, just way off. Anyways, we're gonna get another voiceover just to ram it home about voiceovers in this episode. About let them, fight. Someone's fight the war. Running. That's how this one ends. Wow, what a
Well,
statement to make. So next time is blood money. We get a little visit from someone who's been living in LA for a while, but we first knew back in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So what will be ready to talk about blood money? That'll be next week, right here. Rewatchers Council Angel Edition live at the real time, Central Time, right here on the post credits channel of the Let's Get Ready Network. Brendan, thank you so much, buddy, for being on the cast today. Why don't you tell people what's up with you and your neck of the interverse?
well, you can find me on Blue Sky, Bren Martin Blue Sky social.
Mm-hmm.
Council podcast status on YouTube. That page turners they were not. Next Monday, I'll be posting our review of the 1961 classic Judgment at Nuremberg.
Ooh,
And so look for that.
very nice. Almost topical. Should be in front of mind for some people. Okay, great. Thanks, buddy. I will be back not only for Angel next week, but of course Buffy as well next week. Checkpoint. Uh, a pretty darn good episode of Buffy happening on Rewatchers Council next week. That's Thursdays live at, of course, 5 o'clock Central. Was at 3 o'clock Pacific time, I believe. And then I'll be with Adelia talking about the English Premier League over on our sister channel, Good Friends, Better Rivals. Tuesday live at 7 o'clock Central. Hoping that Chelsea has a good weekend. I hope everybody somehow gets to lose. It seems impossible, but fingers crossed. Chelsea can get some good results for them this coming weekend, guys. Thank you so much for joining us here today. In the words, of the fallen Holland Manners. Hope everyone likes and subscribes.